All right, let's see if you guys are on the same beat as me. It doesn't matter where you are in your creative journey, from amateur to seasoned professional. As artists, we are always on the lookout for inspiration. That one thing that will give us a creative jump start, right? A boost to pick up that pencil and that stylus or that paintbrush and just go to town. And I'm fortunate enough to remember a time where you had to go to the library or actually hunt if you didn't have something readily available to you, just to seek that one thing that'll trigger you to get creating. But I'm fortunate enough and I'm grateful to be in this point in time where inspiration literally is as close as that cell phone in your pocket. But being the old dude, I gotta admit, even today, nothing still beats a good book that I could sit back in my favorite chair, grab my favorite beverage, hit that recline, and just flip through and just let my eyes feast. And today we got a feast for you. Now, listen, in case you've been under a rock, this is an art book based on quite possibly one of the hottest video game franchises in history. And it's quite possibly one of the hottest new art books to drop in the past couple of years. So today, I'm so excited to do a tour with you through the art of Marvel Rivals by Dark Horse Comics. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome to another book tour session. I am Dr. Solo Perry, Doc Solo to my students, the director of Ka-Pow, the Comic Art Academy, and I'm so glad you guys could join us. Now listen, if you like what we're putting down here, please hit that like and subscribe bell and hit all the things here on YouTube and make sure that you're up to date whenever we go live or we drop a new video. Content is coming out more regularly. We're still getting on schedule as our school year is just starting, but we are committed to bringing you the best in comic art education and inspiration here on the tube. And so, as I said, today we are going through the art of Marvel Rivals. Now listen, in full transparency, this book came out probably now about 3 weeks ago, and I did pre-order it. So I got it when it first dropped, but because I've been so busy as we've been preparing for our new school year here at Ka-Pow with our new incoming adult students and prepping for the Prep Academy to bring in young students starting at age 10, I've been understandably quite busy, as well as my own projects. But I have waited with you to go through this book for the first time. It is still in its wrapper, as you're going to see here, and it has taken everything in my power not to tear this thing open and dive in, but I wanted you guys to get my first reactions live here on the YouTube channel. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen other book tours here on YouTube. I love them, where somebody plays some nice, soft music and they just kind of flip through the whole thing. We're going to do the flip through, but because we are an educational institution here at Ka-Pow, it's more than just flipping pages. So I actually got a couple of sheets of tracing paper. I got a red pencil, and whenever the unction hits, I'm going to pause and kind of share some of my thoughts with you guys in real time. Because for me, it's more than just perusing and admiring art. Every time I do go through a book in my library, and I go through them repeatedly. This is the first time I'm going through this book here, but it will not be the last, okay? I keep these books on hand, and I'm glad to share my library with you guys. But I consume them and I study them. That is the process of growing as a creator. We learn from other creators. And so on that note, we're not going to belabor it because I don't want to be here too long, because I know that I can really talk about art and all things art ad nauseum. And so today we're going to be checking out the art of Marvel Rivals. And see, I'm breaking out the X-Acto, and we're going to gently tear this open because, again, true to my word, I wanted to experience this in real time with you guys. Now, it doesn't help that all my industry buddies have, the moment they dropped, they had the same inclination as I did when they saw that it was coming to pre-order it. And so everybody and their mama text me and email me, yo, Solo, man, you gotta check out this book. I'm like, I got it when you got it. I pre-ordered it too. But I'm grateful that they thought enough of me to make sure that I wasn't left in the dark. But I said I wanted to go through it with you guys and sharing the excitement as opposed to just silently just flipping through with some beautiful music like many of the other channels here on YouTube. Because as an educational entity, I think there's a lot we can learn together. And so I'm going to go ahead and flip to the overhead, and we're going to check out. Now, again, this is from Dark Horse Comics. And of course, we got the insert, another epic victory. All right, let me turn my head around just in case so it doesn't, because I have a tendency to lean in. I'm going to lean in. Understand that. I'm going to lean in. And I don't want my bill to get in the way. All right. So let's see what we got here. Boom, boom, boom. I'm so excited. So excited. I've been waiting to get into this book, y'all. Oh my goodness. All right. So we're not going to actually read the book. I will do this on my own. I will actually read because if there's something to be gleaned from this, I like to hear and understand where they were in the creative process. And if you're a process art production book collector like I am, you know what I mean, okay? There's so much knowledge to be gained from our fellow creators operating at different levels. All right, we got Galacta. Now, she was created, I believe, specifically for the game. I'm going to be tilting this up like this because I have a glare from my other light to help cast a good shadow. But I believe Galacta was created specifically for Marvel Rivals. And of course, she's an analog for Galactus. But, you know, anime culture being what it is, which we know this is heavily influenced by, you gotta go with the eye candy. Okay, chapter 1 characters. And already we are hit with some awesome images. The foreshortening is extreme. This is still sketchy, but I love it. I love the rawness of the designs. And ooh, Adam Warlock. Now, listen. Okay, so I have Marvel Rivals like everybody else. I'm not completely living under a rock. But unfortunately, I have not played it yet. I'll turn it on. I'll turn it on and I will look at all the beautiful art and the animations. And it's a little intimidating to me, to be quite honest. But my son, he is high ranked in Marvel Rivals because apparently the transition from Overwatch to this was amazing. And I have the Overwatch art book too. If you guys haven't had that, that's a must-have in your library as well. And so we get to see some character designs for Adam Warlock. And we get some descriptions. And we get some action scenes. This is kind of cool. I can see why they didn't... I guess it's a cosmetic variety, they say. All right, golden mask. The cloak is kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Oh my goodness. I mean, come on, man. Now, in full transparency, I'm not... As cool as the art is, and we know that it's cool, okay? They are killing it. It's not overly complex from a creative standpoint. We have this nice fusion of traditional comic book aesthetics with that anime exaggeration and energy that just kind of takes it over the top. If you're an old head, one of the first guys that we ever saw really do this and like bring it to comics was Joe Mattier. And this is very much in the vein of that when I think of the energy. Listen, if you agree, leave something in the comments. If I'm missing out somebody, please don't hesitate to let me know. And so now we're looking at the Black Panther, which is a personal favorite of mine. I got Black Panther everything. See, this makes me want to play. Not only makes me want to draw, it makes me want to play. But every time I pick up my controller, I feel so guilty because I know there's other things that I need to be doing. And listen, I know you guys, I've heard it all. I understand it, that I need to give myself a chance to creatively defrag and immerse in the whole 9 yards. And I fully plan on doing that. But when you've got so much stuff on your plate, man, and you should be drawing because you're behind on your drawing. I'm behind on my personal deadlines. I got some professional deadlines. I got school. Every time I sit down, pray for me. I'm working on the self-care part. It's self-care. I'm going to reframe it as self-care as opposed to killing time. It's self-care and it's research, right? It's research. Black Widow looks gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Kind of like that Western aesthetic. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I like how they kind of bumped everything up. Like they really like put it all on steroids. And again, the designs aren't overly complex. What I'm seeing is a heavy influence, as is appropriate, that is in sync with the MCU designs. A lot of piping, a lot of tech, a lot of wingdings and thingamajigs that just really make for a beautiful translation. And of course, as comics, comic book fans, we want to see updated, energized versions for the video games. No one wants to play a dull-looking character. And I love the spotted highlights and the chromatic aberration. Chromatic aberration is when you see that shift between red and blue. Almost, like the colors are kind of glitching. It's really nice. It's really nice. Cap's all armored up. Wow. Okay. Kind of cool. And these are his moves. All right. Cool. The Wakanda shields. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. And we have a Viking version of Cap? Okay. I love the explorations into different genres. All you guys that are gamers, let me know how important all the skins are to you. My son, I'm always looking at how they're fleecing us for cash. Okay, I'm kind of a skeptic, and I'm like, all right, what do I have to buy to get the cool stuff? How much are you going to charge me for the really, really ooh-ah stuff? And Cloak and Dagger. Wow, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Hulk is kind of hard to make cool, to be quite honest, because, he's a big old cloak, a big old cape filled with darkness. And so, as a concept, he's cool, but as far as a graphic design element, I'm sure he could be difficult. So I'm looking at the chains and stuff here. Makes me want to play him. I want to see what he can do. I'm sure there's some teleporting things happening there. And of course, Dagger. Not hard to make her stand out. The Cloak is... Now that's cool. That is cool. That is cool. Cloak in a... Man, that is cool. And him pimp juiced. That is smoking. I like that. With the fedora, and that is hot. That is a direction I would have never thought of. And of course, this is more of a dark version with whenever you're using those points and angles and triangles and thorns, we're entering into some realms of darkness. And he says nature provides balance. Of course, nature does provide balance and inspiration. But graphically speaking, when you see this, you're not really thinking nature. You're thinking dark and medieval and probably evil whenever you're using that type of shape language. We got Doctor Strange. Are we over Doctor Strange yet? I don't think so. And the Eye of Agamotto. They really pumped him up. They really pumped up Strange. I'm digging this. I'm waiting for something to kind of dive into and explore. One thing I do notice, one thing we can really attest to, and see if you guys can pick this up, that the tracing paper works, is this angular shape language, right? Whenever you see angles like this, there's a reason it resonates with us, because it reads as aggressive. right? With a game like this, because of the style of play, see, you're seeing, I'm just really highlighting all these angles. And this is something for you guys to do, to explore with your own designs. Whenever we deal with angular shape language, we are subconsciously communicating aggressive, energetic. Somebody who's really excellent at this, a friend of mine that you can sit down and watch our interview on Art to Art here on the channel, is John Boy Myers. He's always had that very angular, aggressive shape language. I'm kind of a hybrid in my preferred style, where I have some angles, but I personally fear overusing them, and I think that's a me problem that I might have to cut and overcome. But it works. It works, and I like how they maintain the sketch aesthetic, right, with the tangents, right, and the intersections. That's big time. That's big time. It adds a rawness, right? Like when I'm at cons, people are always fascinated by the sketch, and I would argue, and I would invite the conversation with other artists that to disagree or to agree, but there's something about the sketch phase that excites us. It's a peek into process, and so what I thought was very ingenious about what they do with the Marvel Rivals finished work is that they leave an element of roughness to it, okay, and that hits us on a creative level because it's not overly polished. It's almost like we are at a stage of completion that is complete enough for our purposes, but if they wanted to go further, they possibly could. I've seen it at every show. Whenever I put out my raw pencil pages, that's where people stop in their tracks. When I see artists that display inked pages, as beautiful as they are with those nice crisp blacks, it has been my personal experience that they don't evoke the same type of awe as seeing the underdrawing and the blue line and the sketchiness, and it's almost like you're seeing the brain at work with the artist. And so yeah, we got Groot here. I love the different iterations of Groot. That is cool. That is cool. Shot of his abilities. All right, Clint Barton, Hawkeye. And there's a reason why these guys just flip through, because what I'm doing may take a long time, admittedly. But also, when I do these, I'm not going to go through the whole book because I want you guys to buy it. All right, this is actually going to be highly recommended. I don't want to deprive you guys of the pleasure of discovery on YouTube. This is one that I would definitely recommend, that if you're looking for some inspiration, get this one. I have other production books from other video games, older ones that we'll go through in the future, from animated TV shows, animes, the whole 9 yards, and we'll do a deep dive. And see, this is what I'm talking about, is the sketch aesthetic with these overlapping lines. I'm not going to draw in the book, it's my book, but these overlapping lines here. And this is actually something that I do a lot of times when I'm sketching. I'll just go ahead and do the overlap. It's almost like a gesture, and just laying down the forms. And even as I'm doing this, it brings back the kid in me, because I'm still a fan of tracing. It's like tracing helps you kind of lock in your memory, your muscle memory, and your mental lexicon, as one of my friends likes to call it. So you're going to see a lot of this. This is a very, to me, attractive tactic, right? Just that overlap. See, I'm getting these forms down on paper. I don't know if you guys can see them, but yeah, I'm creatively triggered right now. Gila, gorgeous, gorgeous. I can only imagine drawing her repeatedly. These are the types of designs that can only live in 3D environments in static images, because it would be a headache drawing this repeatedly from panel to panel. Either that or we're going to have some really extended deadlines for production. Oh, I love these explorations, these other costumes. So lovely. Outstanding. That's hot. This one's hot. This blue one's hot. That's hot. And I'm getting ideas for some of the projects that I'm working. This is where ideas come from. I'm going to be doing a video on my philosophy when it comes to creativity and breaking down what creativity truly is. It's not this mystical thing that we've made it out to be. And so make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all the things here. Hit the notifications bell. And I'll be doing that on my From Cop to Comics when I'm just kind of sharing my thoughts and my musings and my journey. Hulk. What's not to... Okay, we got World Breaker. See, I'm not playing the game. So you guys may be well familiar with this in ways that I am not. But seeing these images, oh my gosh, the punk Hulk, stop it. The dystopian Hulk smash on the back, that is cool. That is so cool. And they even got Bruce Banner looking punk. And the Mohawk, come on, man, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. And we'll buy this here, that the gauntlets and the armor transforms and grows with him. Okay, we'll buy that there. He breaks out everything else in the comics. Rips his pants, rips his shirt. But the armor, yeah, the armor's going to grow with him. We're okay with that. We're okay with that to get our eye candy. The cost of doing business. It's the cost of doing business. Flame on! Johnny Storm. What I like is when these characters are so ingrained in the culture and in the mythos that is comicdom. Just to see reimaginings, it lets you know that the possibilities are endless. You know, possibilities are endless. There's still gold in those hills to mine creatively if you are just patient and design with intention. That is kind of cool. They got Johnny looking kind of cool. Wow, that's kind of cool. His right arm, cosmic control rod. Okay. I dig it. It's parasitized by biological tissue that spreads to the chest and back, making the battlesuit feel like biomaterial. Come on, man. Let's get creative together, y'all. Let's make some things. And the most powerful member of the FF, Susan Richards Storm. Or Storm Richards. I don't know. They just call her Susan Richards. She's forever a fan favorite. I love the Invisible Woman. Oh, they went back to Malice. Okay, so this is a throwback, y'all. If y'all when she had the little psychological break or whatever, I forget the entire history. My son Jay does that on our other channel, but that makes my inner child jump for joy to see the Malice. I dig it. And that looks like a wedding gown. It even says the classic comic image of Malice may not be well known amongst today's younger audience. Thanks, Dark Horse, for making me feel old. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And the new Iron Fist, who I'm largely not familiar with, but I don't think that he's gotten a lot of attention in the comics. But I do like this change of making the Iron Fist Asian. I'm a fan of that. I'm sorry, I'm usually not a fan of the race and gender swapping, but this one was always problematic for me, even as a young and upstart artist. Like what? So yeah, but I'm digging it. Great designs. They really hit up the Asian influence, and he looks awesome. Cosmetic variety, Chinese lion dance. That's cool. Yeah, you can explore those things, and they make more sense with an Asian character than they would with a Western character. these types of explorations. And of course, we got Iron Dude, Tony Stark, the invincible Iron Man. Notice the span on the back. I'm just sketching over here. Notice the span on the back. This is intentional because you got to remember that they're adding exaggerated, aspirational proportions here. Okay, and again we have that angular shape language, that aggressive shape language, which is absolutely paramount for a game of this type, right? They know who their audience is. And we got this little bitty head, which is usually reserved for like brutes and Hulk-like, because you got 2.5 head span between the head and the shoulder, which typically in proper anatomy is usually 1 head span. It's usually like this, right? If we want to make your average size character, it'll be 1 head here, 1 head here on that shoulder, and then we draw that shoulder there. But these are superheroes, so exaggeration is key. The rule of cool dominates. You got to pay attention to it. There's a method to the madness, people. There's a method to the madness. Superior Iron Man. Okay. Ooh, they got a steampunk. That is kind of cool. That is kind of cool. My guy, Warren, my studio mate, he loves steampunk, Victorian era design. One of his properties that I'm excited about, that he's currently getting commissioned by another artist, deals with those themes. I'm just hoping the guy can deliver. Jeff the Land Shark. This character has been incredibly popular, and I'm so largely ignorant to the land sharks and that entire line. You guys let me know in the comments more about Jeffrey, but I've been seeing Jeffrey posters. I think he got his own comic, the whole 9 yards. Jeffrey the Land Shark. I think we just love cute and cuddly pets, even if that pet has 7 rows of razor sharp teeth and is incredibly carnivorous and an apex predator on 4 legs. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm making that a pet, but he's drawn cute. That is cool. Jeffrey the Land Shark. I dig it. I dig it. Loki Laufeyson. Who doesn't love Loki? The bad guys rule, right? The bad guys rule. And I'm looking at the highlights, the spotted highlights. It defies physics, but again, this is when we got to kind of learn when to break convention and just let creativity reign. There's a place for that. You know, I have a tendency personally to be a little bit anal retentive in some of my designs, even though my designs seem to meet the burden of the project. But but when I know I need to go further, I pick up books like this to see, you know, what direction they go, because it's not my natural convention. It's not my natural creative inclination. And that's where books like this come into play. We have to buy things not that we would normally do, but things that will push us outside of our comfort zone. You know, I was live streaming earlier today on another platform, and one guy echoed my sentiments perfectly. There is no growth. There is no growth in routine. There's no growth in a vacuum. There's no growth in the comfort zone. Growth only happens when you push yourself outside of that. And so, like, for me, this not being my natural design sense, guess what? I'm gonna start playing with this, because I got some projects from my own studio that I'm working on, and I think I need a little bit of extra energy. You know, a lot of times I don't even follow artists that typically that do a lot of what I consider visual noise, right? A lot of things all over the place, lines. But just because I don't subscribe to them, make no mistake, I understand why they're hot. I completely understand that, and I respect it from a creative standpoint. You got to know your audience. I'm admitting to you right now, I've got to get some of this in my repertoire. As I'm looking, I need some of this in my life. Okay, because the energy is palpable. It jumps off the page. Solhee, part-time K-pop. I spent over a year in Korea in the military, and seeing Korean influences and inspirations hit the States is long overdue, in my opinion. Okay, long overdue. This is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. This almost looks like a Hellfire Gala outfit here. This right here. See, make sure you guys can see that. That right there kind of looks like a Hellfire Gala outfit. The abilities, I don't know if I really needed this in the book. It's cool and all. I mean, you're getting a little bit of perspective at play and a little bit of dynamism, but it almost feels like filler, if I'm being quite honest. I could have gone for, this is my critique, I could have gone for a lot more process stuff, even abandoned stuff, not stuff that was even used in the game. Okay, it seems like most of the stuff, and correct me if you guys play the game, these are images, these are designs that are actually used in the game, and that's fine and well. What I like to see are the other explorations that were not used, so I can see why they were abandoned. Okay, sometimes they're abandoned for no other reason than somebody just made a decision. Sometimes it's not even a creative decision, but I still like to know. I'm nosy that way, creatively nosy that way. Magic, always a top seller as far as cons and commissions. Always. Who doesn't love Ileana and her Dark Child form? Cool. Yeah, see, this right here, this is fine. That's fine. I want abandoned sketches, abandoned concepts. These are the cosmetic variations. Cool. Max Eisenhart or Magneto. I wonder why they went with Max Eisenhart. Did something happen in the comics that I'm unfamiliar with? So just FYI, though we are a comic art school, most working professional artists, most of us largely don't have the time and the luxury to read comics. Many of us, at least the guys that I know, we buy specific comics based on artists that we can learn from, that are peers, or that inspire us. And so my comic collection has suffered tremendously over the years. And so I'm largely disconnected from current storylines, but I don't know the Max Eisenhart. I don't know where that came from. Y'all let me know. Okay? Y'all let me know. From Max Eisenhart to Eric Lehnsherr. I guess it was a name change. I don't know where the Eisenhart came from. Y'all let me know. And like, all right, so like the sword right here. This right here. This is when I kind of disconnect, because there's no cutting edges that make any sense, but it's all teched up. And so part of my design sensibility is form follows function. And unless it's shooting out blasts or something, or he disconnects them and they all become like shrapnel flechettes or whatever that he can manipulate, where he don't need this. I don't know. Y'all let me know. But the design is cool. Design is cool. And thank you to all my brothers who called me to make sure that I had a copy, that this was in my library. Keep doing it, because I may miss a few. I may miss a few. So when I started off, trust me, I was not coming at you. It's just that, yeah, I was on top of this one. That's it. I was on top of this one. I ain't on top of all of them, but I was on top of this one. Mantis. All right, so in the sake of expediency, I'm going to go forward a little bit, and we're going to jump around so that you guys have some things. Moon Knight, now that's my guy. I love street level characters. And Moon Knight has always been one of my favorite characters from his inception. I've always been a fan of Moon Knight, and that looks cool. That looks so cool. It almost reminds me of actually the Overwatch character, the one with the guns, that face mask right there. You guys know him. He has the Death's Head thing. I got the Overwatch book over there too. We'll go through that. But again, I don't know if he worked on that game or not, but we all kind of learn from one another. We all learn from one another. Wow, that is cool. Mr. Knight, they did the Mr. Knight design. I dig it. I dig it. Namor McKenzie, the Submariner. I don't know how I feel about the crazy look in the eyes. We know that Namor can be a little touched when he's outside of water for too long. But I like to think of him more as a king. Regal in charge, but we know he's a hothead, you know. The design is cool. The design is cool. Again, I love the gladiator aesthetic. Whenever we can pull on that, those are like forever design tropes that will always work. And we got Namor from Wakanda Forever, which I didn't hate the concept of Namor in that aspect. Didn't care for the movie, but didn't really. But I did not mind the pivot with Namor in that direction personally. All right, I'm not going to go through all of this. You guys are gonna have to kind of get your own. We got Rocket, all teched up and cool looking. Everybody loves Rocket. We're gonna jump up. We're gonna get some faves in. We got James Logan Howlett. I have not read it, so I'm missing this with you. I have to go back and read this for myself. You guys saw me open it. I'm just trying to expedite things a little bit. That's cool. That's cool. I don't know what to make about the Wolverine Logan design. It's okay. I think they could have done something better. They probably did. Okay, yeah. As we continue, I don't care for that one too much. This one is cool, and that's more like a dystopian, alternate future, Wild West thing, Lone Rider type aesthetic. And we've seen so much of Wolverine's original design. It's kind of hard to deviate too far away from that and not lose who he is. Of course, the head wings, the head fins always help. We're not gonna go into locations, okay? You guys can do that on your own. But listen, I highly recommend this book. If you guys are looking for something to really jumpstart you creatively, I don't think you'll be disappointed personally. I personally don't think you'll be disappointed. I dig it. I dig it. I'm here for it. When I get off of this video, I'm going to dive in full bore, and I'm going to have my sketchbook ready, and I'm going to class, because even though I run a school, I am forever a student. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing this. Forever a student of the craft. I want to learn as much as I can for as long as I can. And I'm so excited that books like these are dropping, that video games are spurring this new creative wave amongst artists as well as anime and manga. It's a great time to be an artist. It's a great time to start drawing again. And listen, if you are an adult and you want to learn from real industry pros in the most comprehensive, convenient, and affordable course of its kind, even in today's economy, check us out at teachyoutodraw.com. And we are launching Ka-Pow the Prep Academy for ages 10 through 13, 14 through 16 for our young ones, which is a 90-minute class taught one day a week after school from the comfort of your own home. Everything is virtual, live instruction, no video libraries, no pay and then forget about it. Nope. We help guide you through the process of helping your stories come to life. And if that sounds like something you'd like to partake in, apply. It is an application process. We don't take everybody. We are a small school, but we love our students, and our students love us, and we give them the absolute best that we can. And we are far from full, but we are definitely selective. And if it sounds like that's something you want to be a part of in our community, you think it might be a fit, let's explore that. All right, check us out at teachyoutodraw.com. And listen, if you haven't done so, treat yourself to this amazing book from Dark Horse, The Art of Marvel Rivals. It is gorgeous. I wish it came in a sleeve, especially with all this white. Especially with all this white. Ooh, Oh man, I didn't flip the back. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Y'all got, look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Ooh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Oh yeah. See, I don't like to do this because it'll mess up the spine. But they put all that goodness on the back. Wow. Wow. I don't know what y'all waiting for. Y'all need to go to your favorite outlet, Amazon, where I got it, whatever. Okay? I ain't getting paid for this. I get nothing. Y'all see the channel size at the time of this video? This is pure unadulterated geekdom. Art love. Okay? This is straight up art love. I love this stuff. And if you want to learn to bring your stories to life, check us out at teacheryou.com and let us explore. It's a 2-stage interview process. We are the most affordable, comprehensive, and complete course of this kind you'll find anywhere. I'm going to be sharing the actual tuition price on an upcoming video soon. I just haven't gotten around to it, but it will be on our website. I'm getting that updated as well. I got a meeting tomorrow to get our site updated. But it is an obligation, but it is a small, affordable obligation that, you know, with a little bit of effort and intentionality, we've got 19 and 20 somethings that are paying for it out of their own pocket. Okay, so check us out. Check us out. And there's lessons. We have our own private community where we share. Me and my instructors jump in there periodically, and it's almost like our own Zoom area where I'll just draw and we just hang out and talk. And we got poses of the day. We just give you resources as well as access to mentorship, real mentorship. Okay, that means learning directly from the source of people who are doing the thing. And so, yeah, check us out. And on that note, I am out of your hair, out of your life. But in closing, as I always say, and I will never stop saying it, especially in the light of where we are as a country and as people, as humans, in this very divisive era, let's remember, life is short. So live, love, and laugh as if it's your last day on earth, knowing that when all is said and done, all that will ever be remembered of you is the life you've lived, the lives you touched, and the stories you've created. So, what are you waiting for? Get to it. I'll see you guys later. Be kind, be blessed. Solo out.